attention to it.
Now we got attention. So, anyways, we're here for, I'm going to call this a celebrity edition.
I'm the celebrity?
Paul is the celebrity, so I want to go celebrity like right across the screen. Bobby, right here.
With an
celebrity. So this is Coach Paul Revelia from Team Pro Physique.
That's right.
He is a core elite, and we're here for Ask the Boss. You guys have submitted questions, and we're going to try to handle them. Meaty's going to take it away, but first, this is episode
27. I'm on a roll. You can't give me
287?
27. 287.
Typically it'd be like 27, but I would just think it's like 27.
Yeah, usually, like, and he honestly, he gets it wrong every time, and he's not trying.
Right.
That's the crazy thing.
But I've gotten it wrong so many times that I can't get it wrong anymore.
27.
27, yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right, let's roll.
So first question is, Paul,
yes.
Who are you?
Paul Revelia,
and who is Pro Physique?
So I think the people that would know me the most, I come from a bodybuilding background, natural bodybuilding competitor. I turned pro in 2009. Since then, I have gone on to become a coach, and I think that's where my true passion lies. As much as I love the competitive side of it and being involved in the sport, I just love coaching, and so I built my brand Pro Physique around the idea that I want to provide the best possible coaching for the results for whatever people are looking for. Met Doug years ago and was immediately just super impressed by his passion.
It was love at first sight.
Yeah. How long you been with Core?
2012, 2011. It's been a good piece of time now.
Yeah.
So what I love about Doug is his passion is supplements, and so the one thing that you learn early on is like you can't know everything. So if you're going to get some information, you want to get it from the best, and that's what Doug provides. So I love being aligned with Core Nutritionals. It gives my athletes the competitive edge because they use their products. We don't get to sit down and talk also, so it's really nice to chat.
So we should let the people know also, we're sitting in the corner of a pool area at a hotel in Vegas. So we got airplanes going over. There's tons of like bikini women over here doing like twerks.
We're here to work.
Bobby, can you put in some twerking women like right here?
We're here to work.
Bing! No, I'm just kidding.
All right, let's get.
But anyways, we are in Vegas, and there are airplanes flying overhead, so we'll do our best to speak up. So let's hit the questions, Meaty.
All right, drive on fitness. What is the best way to balance cardio and strength training? That's it.
Coach Paul Revelia.
First and foremost, whenever you're talking about cardio and strength training, is prioritize it. What is your goal? What is your principal goal here? If you're trying to get stronger, there is such a thing as interference effect. Cardiovascular, it's scientifically proven, it's not even a question. It's going to interfere with your strength and recovery. However, if your goal is to be the leanest, meanest bodybuilder on stage, you're going to have to incorporate it. My rule of thumb is never let the person become an endurance athlete during contest prep. Training needs to be the priority. Muscle needs to be retained. So I can't give you a black and white answer, but I always make sure you're paying attention to primarily the goal, because I have worked with endurance athletes that resistance training is the secondary goal for them. However, never let a bodybuilder become an endurance athlete.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is, even when I train, when I do coaching of everyday people, and they come to me, and I tell them, like, if you want to be an endurance athlete, I'm not the coach for you. If you want to be a power lifter, I'm not the coach for you. If you want to look the best you possibly can naked, I'm the coach for you, right? And the way I found really to train most people is like a bodybuilder. Prioritize the weights. You know, most of the people, they think they're going to lose weight. You know, they just think that if they're doing cardio, they're going to drop the fat. But like, you need the focus. Like, everything that I do, and I really, regardless of I mean, because I have a more limited coaching scope than you do. You know, primarily it's weight training. It's got to be the focus of every program, and I try to minimize cardio as much as possible.
Sure.
Right. Like, because as you said, like, it starts taking away from the weights, which is going to, you know, have the muscle building, you know, help you with the metabolism at rest, you know, all of those issues. So for me, it's like weights. Cool. And you know, I just cardio's important.
Yeah, and some people love cardio, so I try to always take into consideration what people enjoy, psychologically speaking, like what they're going to do.
Yeah, for sure.
The Granite State kid, Doug, do you ever do pull-ups?
That's a good question.
I don't think you do.
I really don't. I used to do pull-ups, but I find that my biceps take over. Shocking. I mean, I find my biceps takes over when on most exercises, but on pull-ups, I literally, they're like, I should do them on like arm day. I just don't get the contraction in my back. So Maybe that's something I'll do. I'll throw some pull-ups back into the routine.
I'll sit down with you and do some pull-ups and show you how to biomechanically just engage the back.
Yeah, I mean, probably I would start from doing actually assisted pull-ups, where I can actually really focus on pulling with the back. I mean, I can throw 3 plates around my waist and pull myself up, you know, but like I'm gonna be muscling it up, right? So.
All right, this next one's tough. Dominate science passion. If you're doing an 8-week overreaching cycle, there will be a decline in natural tests and an increase in cortisol due to the accumulated stress. What is your opinion on counteracting these by doing TARD plus test on week 5 through 8 of every cycle? Then 4 weeks off and again on week 5 and 8 the next cycle. This might improve sleep, energy, mood, and it fits perfectly into my periodization. Furthermore, I don't want to keep pushing just on a particular mesocycle with 8 weeks on and 8 weeks off. Instead, this 4 weeks on and 4 weeks off for clarification, and due to natural test being high at the beginning of the cycle, you can do your 4-week off phase there. Thanks as always.
I mean, so, well, this chimes into what we were talking about earlier, the core hard and the response that you see from your clients, and maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Well, the first things first is like, this is not going to be an answer that is like proven. This is going to be something that we've seen through experience.
Exactly.
Anecdotally speaking, I've seen an immense benefit from taking core hard and core test when I have athletes that are very low body composition, high stress, high activity, low calorie. There's just been, it's to the point now where I almost require my athletes to be on that stuff at the end of contest prep. But what he's talking about is like a philosophical thing. The acute changes that you see in hormones during training are not necessarily a bad thing though. So we're talking about short-term changes. If this person didn't sound like they were in contest prep. So yeah, when you're overreached, kind of the reason you get that super compensation effect is because your body responds to that stress. So I would say I'd be fine with him doing that, but I don't think if he's not dieting, that it might not be a necessity. I would just do it the whole 8 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, and one of the things that we find is when we have tested hormone levels with these products, these are natural products that come from an herbal background. They take a while. It's not like you take them one day and you got tests running through your veins. It doesn't work that way. It takes a while to build up in your body. And that's why we actually recommend longer cycles for these products. Your sweet spot, you start really feeling good, and your body starts responding around weeks 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So like the first couple weeks, you're not gonna just like.
That was my point. For him, I would say start it at the beginning and allow, like by the end of week 5, 6, 7, you're really gonna be humming.
Word. We're on the same page.
Somebody wants to know if you're going to do another flavor in core test.
No.
I like that flavor.
Yeah, there's
First time I took that, I was like, holy crap.
It's not a product for flavor. Really.
Yeah, and let me tell you a little something about that. It is one of the most disgusting products.
You have to keep spinning it because it's very dense, right?
The fact that we actually got that to taste palatable and acceptable, if you saw or tasted the first couple rounds of that, like you would want to vomit. It smelled like it tasted like dead fish.
I pay close attention to the mix.
This fruit punch masks all the herbal nastiness, and so
I mean, it smells good when you open it.
Yeah. I mean, but so there's no need. It's not like an ABC where you're gonna sip on it all day. You want some variety. It's like
2 people in here. Sup a jacked. Dan Paul making some strides, and then MEK Fit. You go, coach. So you got some love on the page here.
Yeah, I think I got the angle in that picture looking alright.
You did get the angle. You're looking juicy.
And I think Doug was on like a trap day, and I was on an arm day, so I snuck in on that picture.
Did you say a trend day?
Trap.
Oh, I thought you were trolling me.
That's every day.
Yeah, I thought you said a trend day. I was like, there's only one day for that.
All right. Does it end in Y?
What else we got? Do you run Liberty Balls in a stack after Big Papa or just by itself?
So that's a good question. I've recently run Liberty Balls on its own. I've had my blood test done, and my test levels were higher than they've ever been as I get older. So it was pretty cool. So the main ingredient, we talked about this in the last Ask the Boss, the main ingredient is smolanthes. It's going to be a very popular ingredient in test boosters going forward. And it works through a different, pathway. I did talk to Kent a little bit about it afterwards. It works through the luteinizing hormone and stuff like that. But we'll put the whole write-up on the website here shortly. So for people that don't know, Liberty Balls from America Labs is the test booster in that for that company. You could stack it, but I really think it would be overkill on top of it. If you're taking Alpha Hard 5AT test, which is what the Big Papa stack is, you don't need to put Liberty Balls in that. And Liberty Balls, when I ran it by itself, was phenomenal. And you know, I had test levels in the 900s, and I'm not usually that high. So that was pretty dope, being 38 or close to 38. And
sounds like I'm gonna start taking some Liberty balls.
Yeah, everyone needs Liberty balls in their life.
2 more questions. Any plans to have a mass gainer from Miracle Labs?
Yes, supersized. It's gonna have real whole Oreos in it.
You're gonna say French fries. It's super sized.
French fries, yeah.
French fries, like
maybe we'll have a burger and fries flavor. It would be awesome. Ground meat.
Call it In and Out.
All right, and then the classic kid. Do you see natural bodybuilding growing more now amongst the young community?
This is very timely for you, Paul.
Yeah, so, you know, there's been a lot of discussion because of Mark Lobleiner's video recently about natural bodybuilding dying, and I think people miss 10 years ago when there was one natural bodybuilding in a state, if you were lucky. Natural bodybuilding isn't dying, it's just a little bit dispersed right now, but there's still plenty of competitions, plenty of opportunity. We just talked about a great show that happened this weekend in Kansas City. We're about to see world championships in several organizations. It has to be promoted by the people that compete. They have to document their journey. The reason I found out about it was because of Wayne Norton at the time. The reason most people get inspired is because they see it, they hear about it. So I feel like it's going to have a huge boom in the near future because of the people that are younger, like this guy Chad, it's so much easier to access video, uploading, documenting. It was hard for us, I think, to adapt to that. We're getting up in age, but we're just now adopting that. They're growing up without television, but YouTube. So, like this kid AJ Morris, I've been watching his videos. I really enjoy them because he's documenting the process. He's going to inspire kids like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing. So
what are some of the structural changes that need to take place in the sport of natural bodybuilding, you think,
there needs to be a monster. There needs to be one organization that stands out and that people can be like, I'm proud to be a pro with this organization.
Obviously, the million-dollar question is, how do you make that happen? At this point, given the problem of personal egos,
yeah,
right?
I don't know that I have that answer. I think you need someone to follow. It would have to be someone like you start an organization or take over, or someone that in the bodybuilding community people respect. You know, I think when you look back at how the IFBB and the NPC took over, it was because the leaders, they put the effort and time into it, they believed it, and they had people like Arnold competing that people still talk about to this day. That's why the IFBB Pro Card holds so much value. It's been around.
I think a lot of people are in it. I mean, not like a lot of the promoters are in it because they love natural bodybuilding, but they also want to make money on the show. I mean, they don't want to lose money. I really think you're going to need somebody to come in who really doesn't care if they lose money and wants to throw $1 million at the sport, to be honest with you, and just, okay, this is the structure we're going to set up. Here's the board we have in place. This is how we're going to do things. I mean, that's what it's going to take. Now, whether or not that
right now, shows are successful based on the promoter, not based on the organization. And hopefully that changes in the future. We'll just have to see.
So, changing subjects here. I don't know if you have any other questions, but one of the questions that we've been asking a lot of people, celebrities, we ask Massive Joe, we ask Dana Lynn Bailey, was kind of, you know, now that you're here, you probably didn't think you were going to be a coach 20 years ago. Probably the furthest thing.
There was no internet or no job.
If you could go back to yourself at 16 or even 25 and give yourself advice, what would it be? And it could be, this could be a question from about physique training, it could be about life, it could be about business, it could be about family, whatever. What are the most important, you know, things that you would go back and tell that 16-year-old Paul?
I would definitely go back and say, pay attention to what you're passionate about and learn more about it. Because I knew I loved bodybuilding from the time I was 14, 15 years old when I started lifting weights, but I never actually thought to myself it was a viable option for education, for career. I thought if you learned about exercise, you were going to be a PE teacher when I was young. I literally remember thinking that. Now I look back and go, gosh, if I would have studied biology, biochemistry, exercise physiology, all the things that I'm studying now, I would just be farther along in that educational process.
How funny is it that every time when we ask this question, it comes down to passion. That is the word. It's the word that I use, this word Joe used. It's like,
I honestly think it's overly used because honestly, you still have to put in a shitload of work to be successful at what you're passionate about. But the difference is, when you're passionate about it, you do it whether or not you're making money at it or not.
Exactly.
So
yeah, I mean, and then the thing they always say, right? Like, you never work a day in your life, you're doing something that you love. You have to enjoy it. So
I work my ass off, but I love it.
I mean, I almost feel sorry. You know, I did the 9 to 5, or the 7 to 10 or whatever, like ridiculous hours I worked in a corporate setting. You know, I liked the people I worked with, but the content was not something that got me excited about. It was a freaking job, you know? And it just...
What did you do from 5 p.m. when you got off work until you went to bed?
Well, that was everything else. Yeah, exactly.
That's what I was...
Yeah, I mean, and so it's just like, it's so important. Like, I couldn't imagine living a 35-year career doing something that I dreaded or I hated. So, like,
I think
people are scared
usually.
Yeah.
We both liked our jobs.
Yes.
We just didn't love it to this level.
What did you do before coaching?
Information technology. I was a network administrator. I was very happy. I liked my job. But I would be on the computer at work, studying exercise, paying attention to bodybuilding, spending my weekends traveling to shows.
Yep.
Now I get to do that for a job. So it's a little bit more.
And it's tough. It's kind of easier for us to say it sitting here in the position today because those good jobs that we had were able to kind of finance the passion.
I'm not brave enough to say like, oh, you should have just followed my passion. No, you and me are both pragmatic. We got to a point where we were forced to quit our jobs. Yeah, and we talked about that before.
Yeah. So, but I mean, if you find somebody who is super passionate about it and driven at the same time, they are gonna be successful. Yeah. I mean, they might fail along the way, and that's just gonna make them better later on. But that's like when I talk to my kids, like I don't care what it is they do. I don't care. I don't care if they never lift a weight in their life. They gotta love what they're doing, you know, because that's the only way they're gonna really enjoy it.
Well, and another question people ask is, how do you know what your passion is? And I think the simplest answer is ask anyone around you. If you asked anybody when I was 15 or 16 years old, what does Paul love? He's always going to the gym. He's always looking at muscle magazines. He's always like infatuated with that. So if I had paid attention, I would have known earlier on.
It's interesting.
So, you know,
like that. Yeah, ask the people around you.
Yeah.
Cool. You got any more?
That's it.
Are we good?
We're good.
All right, that's a wrap. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
And hopefully we'll get some more content from Paul in the future, maybe even a little visit to Australia at some point.
I'd love to come to Australia with Core.
We need to visit Florida.
There's this massive guy out there named Joe I heard about.
Yeah, massive.
He's not really that massive.
All right, that's a wrap. Until next time, keep crushing it. Chad, this is where your hand comes in. You got to bring it in from the outside and go like this. There you go.